Hey guys, it's April. So for this week's file, we are making I'm calling this my card crate. I am making a crate to store all of my cards that I make so that I can have them ready. When I'm ready to use them, I can just go through. I can put dividers in here and figure out, or not figure out, but separate them by occasion. So what I'm going to do, I had my husband paint this. This was just a plain little novelty crate over from Michael's Art Minds, just a small crate. I had this paint on hand. I'm not sure if it was from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, wherever, but this is called Razzleberry, and it's just an acrylic paint. What my husband did, and I've done it several times before, but I just had him do it for me because I was busy. But you just water down the paint or put a little bit on a wet or damp rag, and then you just put it on like stain, okay? Instead of painting it, you want to stain it. That way you can still see the wood grain, stuff like that. So what I want to do, because everybody's been asking, can you put iron-on wood? And I've done a couple of videos doing that, but I wanted to do a different project. And I'm going to be using the Martha Stewart patterned iron-on. This is the Wildflower collection, and I'm using just the Wildflower piece out of it. There's a stripe piece and a polka dot piece, but this is the piece that I chose to use out of there. I am also using a piece of scrap silver foil that I had left over from a project. It is Cricut brand foil, and I am going to iron onto the crate. We're going to see how it does. Now I'm going to pop over to the file, and we're going to go over there because you see the crate, and I want you to pay attention to these sides because I'm going to tell you how to measure those. I measured this and made sure that my card emblem was going to fit on the end of it, so you'll need to do that in case yours is a different size. You purchased one a different size. This one is the 8 by I say 7 1/4, and I'm measuring here and here. So if you got the same size crate, you should be fine. So let's pop over to the design space and let's go over the file for you guys. Okay, so here we are over in design space. Now, because the bottom has slats in it, and I want to be able to put my cards in at either direction instead of just one way, I am cutting this piece out of cardstock just to go in the bottom so that I don't have any holes in the bottom, okay? And nobody's ever going to see it. So you can cut that out of any scrap or color cardstock that you want. These down here are going to go on each end, so I'm going to have those. And you can see that this piece is separate. If you don't want that in there, you don't need it. But I'm cutting this from all this pink here of these flowers from the pattern, and this is coming from the foil, okay? So you've got a couple of choices here. These are loose and they're full flowers. These are the same flowers that go on the inside. These were all free, so I wanted to make sure that everybody had access to it. What I've done, and these I've already got set up in the file, I measured the boards, and that's the measurement that I came up with. Now it could be off a couple of little centimeters or something like that, but you can still work with it. So if you've got the same size crate, you should be able to work with it if you want to do a different pattern. All I did was lay a bunch of these out over the top of it, and then I welded them together. But you notice that there's nothing in between the slats. I don't want to have to deal with that and fight it when I go to iron it on. So I went ahead and sliced mine. So what I did, and I've got one in here for you guys just in case you buy a different size crate and want to resize the flowers. You're just going to make sure that that is welded. I believe that I already welded it for you guys. I did. And then you're going to lay out your slats. If you need to duplicate it and add some more in, you can do that simply by, oops, let me click it, duplicating. And then you can just line them up like so, and just keep adding and to the top, to the bottom, to the sides, so that you can get those in there. So once you have all your flowers laid out on there like you wanted and it's welded, this is also welded, these three, because you can only slice 2 layers at a time. If I didn't weld those, then we couldn't slice them out. You're just going to align them to the center. If you've changed your design, whatever design you want to use, you can do this same method, and then you're just going to slice it, okay? And that's going to give you this over here. Now I'm going to group these and hide them so that they're in the file for you guys to play with. I had right here, I had 2 little bitty dots, and I didn't feel like having my Cricut struggle to cut those 2 little dots. And then you can see here there's 2 little bitty pieces. I'm probably going to leave those. If I lose them when I weed, so be it. But there was one teeny tiny piece right here on each of those, and all I did was go to my contour and I took those out. Now that's going to take a while to load. You're going to have to wait a minute because that is an awful lot right there for it. But it will load up, and then you can just contour out the pieces that you don't want, the tiny pieces. So that should cut without any problem. I'm just going to save so that the file is saved for you guys. And I forgot to put that back in there. There we go. And we're going to hit save. And then we're going to, and if you want to put these 2 on a square and attach just so you can tell which one's different, you can. But they are a different size. You can see one, they are bigger. So, and then we're just going to hit make it. Then we're going to make sure that we mirror that iron-on. We want it to cut backwards. That is my cardstock. And then you can see my 2 little flowers. I'm just going to drag them off to the side here just to give me a little bit more space. I might lose a couple of inches of iron-on, and I'm okay with that. And then I have my 2 pieces here. You can attach them to a square if you want, if it makes it easier for you. But we are cutting this from the pattern iron-on, and this cuts pretty side down because it is Cricut. If you're using a pattern iron-on that is Caesar, you may not have to mirror that. Check your instructions. Most Caesar is not mirrored, and then you use an easy mask to transfer it. But mine is set up just like I need it to be. I'm not going to mirror this. I don't find any need to mirror it. There's no words on it, so that's okay. But this one up here I did mirror. So now we're going to go and cut it, and then we'll come back and weed it, and we'll apply it. Hey guys, my camera wasn't working, so I'm going to weed the other one for you. I'm going to set this one to the side and weed it off camera. I am not going to make you guys watch me weed everything off camera. I have cut my design apart. If you mirrored, it's going to be, you're going to be able to read it. It's going to, you'll see it just like that, and it should read correctly. If it's not reading correctly, you forgot to mirror, and we cut it with this pretty side to the mat and the dull side up. And all you're going to do is, I like to leave mine on the mat because it's sticky and it helps me. It holds my carrier down. And I'm just going to start weeding away all the stuff that we don't want to keep. Okay? And you're going to go in and you're going to take all of that out. Then you'll want to make sure that it's okay if it tears. It's not going to hurt the stuff that we're throwing away. You don't want to tear your design. I pulled my C up. I'm just going to press it down because this is sticky. Like our mats are sticky, and you can just press it back down if you pull up something you're not supposed to pull up. You're going to remove all the centers of your letters. Those are called counters. You're going to take all of those out and remove them. And then you're going to weed out your flower just like I was doing here because we're going to be putting pattern in there. So once you've got all of that weeded, then we'll come back and we'll apply it. I will come back and show you the difference in weeding the patterned iron-on because the transfer mask is different. So I want to show you that, but I'm not going to make you guys watch me weed all of that so that we can keep this kind of quick and short for you guys. Okay guys, here we are, and I have cut my patterned iron-on, and I am going to take my scissors. If I can get my mat out of here. That one's really sticky. There we go. And I'm trying to see where my flowers are because I really don't want to cut them. And this can be really tough to see on your pattern. So actually, I can feel it better than I can see it. Let's see. I think that's where I'm at. Hopefully I won't cut my design. There we go. And I'm just going to trim that off the bottom. Hopefully I didn't, because with pattern, it's really hard to see anything cut, okay? And I really want to save this piece too, but I don't want to cut into my design, so I'm going to go way over. And if you bend it, you can see it there. I think I'll be safe here. So that gives me a couple pieces left over. So with the patterned iron-on, you have a different type carrier. And this one is not sticky, where this one is. So if you pull off your design, you want to do this slowly, because if you pull it up, you can't stick it back down. You'll have to piece it like that. You want to make sure that you go really slow and peel all of those pieces off. I'm going to lose a piece. I'm going to save anything I lose so that I can put it back on. So just go through and slowly weed. It might be better to have yourself a cutting box for this. It doesn't appear that mine cut very well. I need a new blade. Ha ha ha. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to weed this, and I'm going to fight with mine, but make sure that you test cut yours, because I did not do that, and I do need a new blade for this. And I'm just going to hold out my smaller pieces. I can add those in later. So go and weed. This really isn't going too bad, guys. I am just going very, very slowly. And like I said, I've got a couple of pieces that I did pull off. If you pull too fast, they will come off. But if you go really slow, you should be okay. I thought I was losing pieces, but it was actually where my lines were sliced out. So just go really, really, really slow. Just kind of wiggle it and jiggle it. That one came off of. I'm keeping them separate. I lost one on this one up here because they are different sizes. But I find that if I just wiggle and jiggle, that it actually did cut, and it cut pretty well, even though I know I do have a dull blade. Because I have been cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting all sorts of materials. But if you just go really slow, and maybe at the end here, I'm going to keep this sheet in case I've got any missing pieces. I can go looking for them. There we go. Not too bad overall. Not too bad. I got 4 little pieces here where I just went a little too fast, and one there that goes with that one. So overall, I'm happy with it. I'm just going to cut this in half. Now that we can see where to cut it. And there's another little flower. I'm pretty sure it's off of here. So I'm just going to, probably won't need it. Probably won't even miss it. But just in case. Now, I did get a little anxious and wanted to see what it was going to look like. So I've already done one end with the silver, and it is picking up the wood grain on some of it, and that's good. I'm good with that because I knew it was a thin iron-on and that could happen. So we're going to start, and I'm going to show you guys this one. And all I did was kind of center up my iron-on. Okay, now foil is a cold pill, And generally you would do it probably, I think it is at 275, 295. I am putting this on my number 2 mark on my mini press. And then I am using a small piece of Teflon sheet over it. And then I'm just going to press and hold. You don't want to do an ironing motion. You just want to press and hold and heat that for a few seconds. And do that in sections. Because you're not going to be wearing this. And it's not going to be laundered. So you don't need to press it 100% according to directions. And because I'm using a Teflon sheet, I went a little bit higher on my heat. Now you don't want to peel it after it's cold peel and then put the Teflon sheet on foil, because it will pick up the texture of your Teflon sheet. And then it won't be bright and shiny. Now when you're doing it on wood like this, you may lose some of the shine in some places on the wood anyway. And that's okay. Get that card area. I'm going to press that for a few seconds. And if yours isn't sticking, don't panic. You can heat it again. You just don't want to really overheat, because we're already overheating it to make it stay on the wood. So now that that's on there, that's warm. So I'm going to go and work on this end. And I'm going to go with, I lost 2 pieces on the flower. Hopefully it's on my sheet. So I'm going, because this one will matter. And I am going to figure out which way it goes into the flower. And then we're going to press this one. And I did keep my sheet from this one. You want to keep that so that you can cover and protect the whole design. So it's got to go one at some point. You know what? I didn't mirror these. You know what? Okay. I'm just going to leave these. I'm just going to leave these in. So you have to mirror these 2. I forgot. These don't matter, but those 2 do. So it's never going to line up. I'm good. Oops, it happens. And then we're going to figure out which way our lines go. That's a little bigger than what I measured, but that's okay. I'm going to go with it. So, I'm just going to cut right down this line. Just so I have my space. That's the good thing about this design and slicing it out, so you know where to cut. And let's see. It's gonna look good. I don't know how my measurement got off, but it's off. That's okay. I'm just gonna cut. No, I'm gonna leave them. Whatever sticks, I'll pull off, and what sticks stays and what doesn't. There we go. So I'm going to place that on there, and I'm just going to press right up on top of that carrier and just hold it for a few seconds all the way down. This is going to be pretty. I wish my measurement had come out though. Make sure you double check it before you cut it. I would say print it. Do a printable. And lay it up on there. Make sure it's right. Those boards, I did measure them. I think I know what I did. I'll go in and fix it for you guys. And I'm just going to let that cool down. And I'm peeling warm. Fun is that? Just going to stick my sheet on there, and with the mini I'm just going to go right on that edge and press that edge right over on the crate so that sticks. And you can trim that off too if you prefer. Don't stick your press to it. Don't be tempted. You want to make sure you cover it if it's overlapping anywhere. And then you're just going to give those little ones a press. How stinking cute. See, make sure that's in focus. I know it's going to go in and out of focus, guys, and I'm sorry, but that's going to happen because of the type camera it is while I'm doing this. So now I'm thinking that I would do, I'm going to cut that one. Right down that middle. And I am going to, just going to run my scissors right down there while I'm holding it. It's more than one way to skin a cat, right? Awesome. And I'm just going to straighten that up. Too cute. Make sure you don't touch this edge over here. Use your other Teflon sheet and cover that, or your carrier sheet, I should say, or you can use your Teflon, and just cover over so that when you're pressing, you don't touch the edge of those other and get it on your press. I love my mini press. Love, love, love it. So I'm just going to give that a second to cool. And you see that I only pressed it for a few seconds. And if it's not sticking, go and press it for a few more seconds. Sweet. And then I am going to finish out with this one, I think. Just going to do it just like that. Where's the bottom of, oh, there they are. I forgot to pull it back up there. I'm going to pull that one back in and get just a couple of petals on there. I've got a couple more loose petals. You saw how quick that stuck. I mean, just super quick and easy. So, a couple of those loose ones. This is a fun little project. Just place that carrier right over there. And I don't want to hit that edge, so I'm going to put both of them up there. I'm just going to grab that one little petal, and then that one too. Looks painted, guys. Loving it. Love, love, love. And then our last one. I may, trying to get more of that flower on. It's okay. Can always trim it off or fold it over the edge. So I'm gonna go for it. Don't want to touch the edge of that other. And I'm just gonna fold that down. Love my mini. Love, love, love. How easy was that? Oh, those hanging off anyway. That's good. That's okay. Not going to see that edge, so I'm just going to snip those that are hanging off on that side. And then I'll repress that. There we go. I'm going to lay that on there, and I'm just going to hit that little edge. Alright guys, I'm going to go and finish pressing. Let's go ahead and peel this one. I'm not going to make you guys watch me press the whole thing. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Cold peeling this. If you see any areas that don't look quite stuck, and I see a couple right there, just going to hit it again and let it cool. The foil takes a little more than the pattern does. Alright, I'm going to let that cool. Finish pressing the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, there we are. How pretty is this? It's so stinking cute. I love, love, love. It looks painted. It almost feels painted. If you've ever done stenciling, you know it's kind of raised. Love, love, love. Super quick, super easy, fun project. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. You can iron on wood. You can change up that design. I will go in and see if I can make it a little smaller, but this is going to vary per project. But it does, the way it's set up now, give you a place to cut so that you know where to cut it, and then you can apply it this way. You can use all of those little extra petals and things like that and scatter them about. I think I'm going to add a couple down here and things like that. But make it your own. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.